Do you want to do that start off thing that you actually did? The 1, 2, 3 shit?
1, 2, 3, you in the place to be. You with me, Chris Ray, and we are SouthWest.
You are now listening to SouthWest music. The Layover.
Yeah, and it's Donnie with another one, hey. And it's Donnie with another one, hey. SouthWest with another one, and you know we back up on that play.
Got a couple questions here from a few fans out there. One of them, what is the biggest difference between SouthWest and the Layover?
Personally, I feel like SouthWest is like us just kind of like realizing that we could actually like work together, make some nice shit. And honestly, I don't think we like really thought too much. We just went into it, did our thing. I think the Layover was like way more intentional. And I think we know for a fact that was the point between the first thing that we did, just introductory, and like the last great shit that we gonna put out. The Layover is literally like the middle, hey, we got better at this shit and we want y'all to see what's up.
I'll say the biggest difference is the vibe and energy. You can tell the maturity in us and the level of, you know how we record and how the music sounds and everything. It just sounds much better. You know, not saying the first one did. It's personally slap. You know, check that out. But
The first one's slick and classic.
Slick and classic. No, it's not even slick. It is. But I would say the progression in the music and the progression in the artistry, the difference I see it.
I agree.
For sure.
Number 2, is there a SouthWest final destination? It won't be called final destination. We're gonna be a little bit more creative than that, but I will go ahead and say we already got a deluxe on the way for the Layover, and there is gonna be at least one more SouthWest collaboration project, and I don't know, I have some more surprises in the bag and the tuck.
To me, I don't think there ever is going to be a final destination, man. It's always somewhere to go, always places to see, always places to be, man. So, if you ask me, hey, IDK, where does your inspiration come from?
In general, I've always just been like artistic. Like I always just like expressing myself, trying stuff, trying to make shit happen. So like the inspiration for me, like it's just always been there. What it was though, for the niggas who ain't been listening, at the end of the first album, I told you how me and Donnie met. We met playing basketball and hooping. He told me he made music on the slip. And honestly, it took us almost about a year before we actually started like trying to get in the studio and whatnot. And I cooked up a song over like this Larry June type beat. I was just making something. I'm like, bruh, he is from California, and like his music is straight. Maybe we should try something. That was the inspiration to get all of this started. Like, I was like, hey, bro, I got to open on this, and that actually ended up being one of the first songs on SouthWest. But that's where the inspiration came from me to get all of this started in the first place.
Mm-hmm. I'll say my inspiration just comes from, just being in the moment, like a lot of our songs just comes from being in the moment. We might be talking about something that we saw that day. We might be talking about a certain experience. We might just be like, you know what, fuck it. We just on some freestyle shit. Let's just have fun in the moment. So I'll say the inspiration as far as when it comes from me, just being in the moment, man, having a love for the music, a love for the sound, you be able to create so much great music, man.
I will say one of my favorite inspirations though, it is pretty consistent. If we find a beat, whether we buying this one from like our in-house producers, Tarzan and Phoenix, or we find the one that we like and buying it, we normally look at the beat name sometimes that, when that beat got sent to us. And I'll probably say at least maybe like 60% of the time, like that ended up being like how we just freestyle to that song and like what the song ended up being about. Like the beat name normally end up inspiring us, to make a whole song around.
Yeah, we had a song inspired by McDonald's Ice. And that should tell you a lot where the inspiration comes from.
Yeah. Number four, what's up? What is the difference between you and your artist persona? I'm actually interested to hear about that because I met Donnie. And then DonnieSo came out of nowhere. I'm looking on Apple Music and Spotify and YouTube. I'm seeing DonnieSo. What the hell is up with the soul? What's the difference between Donnie and DonnieSo?
I mean, there's even a difference between DonnieSo into, Adonis, man. It's just different versions of myself, man. And, I wouldn't say there's no difference between my persona. It's just a version of me. So, you got Adonis, who's, me as a person. Then you got Donnie, who's another version of me. Then you got DonnieSo, who's just like another version of Donnie, but just on a whole nother level.
But when did that level start? Like, when did the soul come in?
Oh, the soul came in early, man. Early, I would say after high school. Freshman, college, graduating from high school, senior year in between, senior year, freshman year, living life, experiencing things, having a college experience, really starting to see life as an adult, And you come across certain experiences, certain people, and, you tend to have fun. You make great memories, and,
Niggas fucking bitches is what he said.
you have many experience with many other people, and you tend to create a name, and things get said, and and it comes to a point where as a person you're like, you know what, so what, so it's like a so. Like, who cares what, man? So.
Oh, it's like a soul.
It's like a so. Like DonnieSo this, DonnieSo that. So. So what can I say, man? Many different versions.
My name ain't as creative as that. The Chris Ray. So obviously my name is Chris Ray, my middle name. Chris is just like what's naturally me, what's innately me, the weird stuff, the stuff that just comes on top of my head, the stuff that I'm gonna do regardless of whether people around or not. The Ray, this is like actually outside the music. The Ray came about though, when I was in spaces where I wanted to stand out. Like a lot of people be named Chris. Not that a lot of people want Ray, but like, they might be like J Ray or something like that, or like, Ray from up the street. Like I was just like Ray. So that helped me start standing out. I was like in middle school and high school. And they really carried over to all like my creative interests too. When I wanted something that stood out, like even my first rap name was like The Great. I wanted Ray to be a part of that. I always liked the idea of Ray being like me being this beacon of light, like something shining or whatnot. So I never was gonna drop Ray. As I realized I wanted to start making sure people knew I was a part of like that unique, ambitious side of myself. So Chris Ray, I kept it as that. I didn't want some flashy like rap name or whatnot. Like I wanted to be me, but at the same time let people know like it's still a duality when it comes to me as well.
What is your favorite song?
I think we might agree on this.
I don't know, man. Might not.
Not gonna cap. So before the project got made, my favorite song was "I'll Be Around." I think we probably had agreed on it at one point. But as I listened to it more and more, not gonna lie, I really like the "I Like" remix. When Donnie first sent me "I Like," it wasn't even mixed yet. And normally when his song's not mixed, I'm like, okay, we gotta have some direction with this, really make it pop out. When "I Like" came across, I was already grooving to it. Like it was already smooth. I slick wanted to verse on it then, but Donnie didn't have an LP, that had dropped recently. So like I didn't ask about a feature on that. When the album came, that was my time to be greedy in a sense. And I was like, hey, let me hop on that. And listening back to it, man, recorded that in probably like an hour. My verse at least. I like the remix. It's definitely like my favorite song on the project now.
Okay. Yeah. I can definitely see that. For me, I like a multitude of songs, so it's hard for me to pick a favorite. But if I were to pick one, I would have to say one of my favorite records is I Don't Know What the Hook Gonna Be. Something about that song, something about, the energy that we had when we were recording it, something about the energy on that record. I just love it. I just love it. I feel like we was operating at our highest form. And for me personally, that's the record I like right now, I have to say.
Kind of like a bonus question to that. Do you have like a favorite verse? It might be from that song, or do you have like a favorite line?
Favorite verse as far as myself, or just
from the whole project?
I have a favorite saying from the project.
What's up?
The saying I would want to say it was, hold on, I'm drawing a blank here. She asked me, could I stay over? Flights is the only time a nigga ever do. Like, that right there says so many words in just such a short amount of sense. It's something just you truly have to dissect. And if you really do, you'll understand why that is profound. in my book. What stands out? Yeah.
Do I got a favorite line? If I had to say, it's probably gonna be from I'll Be Around, which is, like I said, still my first favorite song from there. And the reason why is because I can picture it happening. It's your verse on I'll Be Around and your first lines on there. When I get my fucking shoes and get to step into the door, she get the inking on my shirt, yelling, Donnie, don't go. The big, bruh, when we recorded that, we got behind the scenes of that. When we recorded that, it was so funny getting that big dog Donnie. Just know, man, the moment for that, for me right there, I can picture, him walking through the door, leaving, shoes in hand, and, just like the Donnie, no. Like, it's just so vivid to me. And the moment too when we was in the studio recording that, like I remember the exact day, like that was January this year, like in 2025, like I remember the exact day, I remember what we did afterwards, what we drove to afterwards and whatnot, man. It kind of fit right with the song, but yeah.
So, relatable, everything's relatable, man. That's why I say I draw my inspiration from my life.
That is one thing I want to say. I don't know which camera I need to look at, but everything that we talking about, unless we just having some fun, and you can tell when we having fun, everything that we talk about, it is true. It may not be liked. It may not be liked. But it is true. It is vulnerable.
No,
and
it's a discretion. It's the thing that people put in before TV shows. That's true.
Yeah.
It's like these stories.
Yeah. But I think that's why I like what we do the most. Like, we're not sitting here trying to outflex each other. We never told y'all we're millionaires. We told y'all we gonna be millionaires. But we never told we just told them the truth, man. And just recapping stuff and looking at it from a different lens sometimes too, like as we get more mature. Oh, what's up next? What's next? What was your favorite song to record? I'm interested in it.
I would say my favorite song to record would have to be the last one, man. The Layover. Just the fact that was the last song, to wrap up the album, wrap up what we did, to put the final finishing touches on the project. It was just fun recording, man. We just went in there. We didn't have no idea. We knew it was gonna be the outro, but as far as topics, as far as how the song gonna go, structure and all that, we just went in there, fresh brain, fresh mind. Going off the vibe, going off the energy, and I feel like that was a banger. One of my favorite songs too. One of my favorite songs to record, because it was so fun. Very fun.
If I had to say favorite song to record, like I just told you, we had fun recording I'll Be Around. Like, we had fun, recording some of the other joints. Like, I can vividly remember. But my favorite, it probably comes as a shock, because I'm not even on the song. But it's probably Player Party. Yeah, it's probably Player Party. Because, so Donnie had initially sent that song over. He liked the beat, and we wanted to re-record it just so we could, like, really capture the essence of it being the intro song. Like the way it comes in, like, it had to be, like, something to get people to be like, I'm not about to stop this album. And so when we was re-recording it and, like, he came again with that energy now, knowing that, like, hey, this gonna be how we coming on the album. I think for me right there, just being like the engineer, on the boards, like, I knew that, like, hey, like, he coming with it now. Like, he coming with it now. That was probably like my favorite to record. And then months later, I'm like, what else can we do to set the environment for this? And then I recorded just some quick little ad-libs at the beginning, and then they got laid throughout the whole album. And I ain't gonna lie, I honestly thought that I was like doing a little bit too much by doing that. And Donnie was like, what's that shit you said at the beginning? I like that shit when you were like, SouthWest! And like, that just became the tag, like that SouthWest tag at this point. So I'm glad we got stuff to, help ourselves, like separate from other people. We got something that's staple and signature to us now. Which again goes to the fact of like, what makes this album different from the first one. Like, we're literally progressing and like figuring this stuff out more. The first album, we just had fun. We approached it as intentional as we knew how to at the time. We learned stuff over the time, and we're doing it, whole lot more different, a whole lot more advanced now. Honestly, I'm just fucking with it. I just like where it's at right now, baby. Keep on moving.
Keep on moving, don't stop. No.
We got an extra question. You ain't got this one. What is next for SouthWest?
Ooh, I mean, I feel like that's really a question for my boy, but for me, there ain't no telling, man. The sky's the limit. It's always something next. There's always something lined up. If it ain't SouthWest, it's either me, myself, or it's Chris and himself. So, we always gonna have something for y'all, man. There ain't gonna never be a drought over here, man. We always gonna have something to supply.
I think that's what I appreciate most. That like we both got something to, like you said, supply. We both got something to give. And with that being said, as far as next, we definitely want to make sure that we live in this album a little bit. We want to make sure that like we live in this one, making sure we giving proper content to go along with the songs, making sure that like we really accentuate things that we think people really would love from the album, but maybe you missed it, otherwise. So we just really want to make sure that like even with the deluxe that we're gonna deliver, deluxe coming January 2026, we just want to make sure that this album is I don't want to say exhausted, but this album is reaching its full potential. Instead of just posting it once, letting it breathe for a couple of weeks, and ending it there. Next to SouthWest is just, man, really let y'all experience a layover with us, and maybe when it's all said and done, y'all get a taste of what we got coming up after the deluxe edition. But yeah, that's not gonna be at least until sometime, mid next year. We really want to make sure y'all just enjoying the layover though. Other than that though, man, like I'm glad we actually got the time to sit down, do these questions, give people some of the like content they actually been asking for, some of the answers to some of the things, man. Shit. Like I said, get prepared for the next thing, see what happens with it.
Hey, baby, keep on working, keep on running, never stop.
Well, after you get through listening to this, you can go to Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, all digital streaming platforms. And the first thing you will hear is, you are now listening to SouthWest Music. All right, man.